Hi, this is Stold. Welcome. And today we're looking at the free deck that Magic gave us, Path of Power. We're going to update it to make it work on the ranked ladder at least. Mythic rare of this deck is Vizier, 3 and a green for 3/4, and you look at the top card of your library at any time. You can cast creatures from the top of your library, and you can use any color of mana to cast those spells. Halana and Alena, gives +1/+1 counters based on its power, and the Animist, Ashroot Animist, when it attacks, it gives another creature +X/+X, where X is its power. And then the Spinner Souls, when creatures die, you get to search your library. Not really search your library. You reveal the top cards until you find a creature card. Type of action. Just gonna pull out some of these cards. Just pulling out some cards that are kind of trash. Bushwhack's pretty good. Fetch your land, kill a creature. Snakeskin Veil, save your creature. Ruby's great, it makes mana. And that. And while the Llanowar Elves is good, I think 3 is too many in this deck. It has... the mana curve is pretty low. And the highest thing you have is 4 mana. You don't really have mana sinks at this point in time. So we'll go down 1 on that to go 1 up on the removal, just because... the current meta, the slashers are about, mono red's about with its stupid mice that need to get exiled, and it just makes sense to do that. Cindermaw is great for stopping a life gain. Trufflesnout makes your food. These are all good cards that we want to keep. The Garruk's Uprising, when you cast a creature with power 4 or greater, you draw a card, or when you cast this, if you have a creature with power greater already on the board, you draw a card. Everything gets trampled that has power 4 or greater, right? Creatures you control have trample. All creatures you control have trample. Not even power 4 or greater. I did try having 2 of these in the deck. It just didn't make sense. But those are all keepers. Nice and keepers. Alright, let's see if we can do this from memory. Bulk up? It seems pretty good. Double a creature's power till end of turn. I think just the classic Giant growth. Where did you go? Is this better? Doubling this creature's power makes it 2, right? Doubling this makes it 4, so it's only +2, +2. Make this one makes it +3, It costs 2 mana. Right? Sure, maybe double Halana and Alena's or double this guy's, but if I make this a 7/7 and attack with it and attack with another creature gets +7/+7. Maybe we get +8/+8, but it's 2 mana. Yeah, Giant Growth. Good card. Wow, the Librarian is good. Right now, it's just a 1/1 for 1 mana. This is a 1/2 for 1 mana, and it allows you to destroy artifacts or enchantments and draw a card, and you play it in the battlefield. You have multiple options, multiple versatility, where this is just a 1/1. There's also this other thing called the Scurryfoot, which is just a better creature. It's a common versus an uncommon, and it's a 1/1, just like this is a 1/1. But for 4 mana, it makes a 3/3 and becomes a 2/2. For 4 mana, this is just a 3/3. And you can only do it once. Oh, I guess you draw a card, but big deal. Go by, and we'll just make room for that Scurryfoot Insidious Fungus by dropping down one of those Hornbeetles. You burst. It's pretty good. Felling Blow, while good, requires you to have creatures on the board. Sure gives +1/+1/+1 counters. Good. Goodbye. We'll just get rid of this thing, maybe. I don't know. 3 Burst Lightnings. That's how the meta is. 6 removal spells, plus another 2 protection spells, and Giant Growth, another protection spell. We gotta be ready for those creatures in mono reds in the world. So I really like leaning into the Garruk's Uprising. I think, if it's going to be in the deck, it's just, better to have power 4 creatures. There's a lot of power 4 creatures that we could use. Power greater than 3, which is 4, Or we could just say equals 4. So that's all we're concerned about. We had like this 2/2 that makes haste, this 2/2 that becomes a 3/2 if you have a 4/4 out. This is a 3/3 and maybe becomes a 4/3 for 3 mana. You know, maybe you cast 2 creatures in one turn and it becomes a 5/3. I doubt it. This is a 4/3 with reach for 4 mana. Ugh, this is all disgusting things. Common, uncommon, big score and above. That's what we're interested in. So this giant, while it seems great, this has been watching a lot of people, Paul Gian or whatever, play limited, and you know this Thunderhead Gunner is just a really great card for our limited purposes. So why not play it in standard, right? So it's a 4/5 with reach as opposed to a 4/3 with reach. So a nice bigger butt, and it allows you to discard a card and draw a card. Actually, it only has a sorcery only once each turn. So I think you can only do this on your turn, but either way, better card advantage. Sure, it costs 1 more, but just a nice better top end when the game is stalled out and allows you to cycle through your garbage cards. Ambush Wolf. 3 mana for a 4/2. 3 mana for a 4/3 maybe? With tramples, sure, but this allows you to cast it as a blocker to, as a combat trick. Maybe it's a removal spell basically, where they attack you in, say with a 5/4 that has Shelter by Ghost creature, and you flash this in and block it and kill their Shelter by Ghost creature, and you get your guy back. Could happen. There's also this Fang Guardian, which is also a 4/2 with flash, and it gives another creature +2/+2. So it's quite interesting. It does cost 4 mana, so I don't think we can go too many of those, as we want to watch the curve. But I do think including one of those in is a good idea, because it could pump Halana and Alena to make it a 4. It could pump the Ashroot as you put it into the battlefield. You could use it as a blocker type of situation. Actually, I think this goes here, because we only want 23 lands in the deck. And then for these little guys, they're just 2/2s. Here's this one, 3/2. Well, here's a 4/2, and here's the 4/2, or 4/1, right? So, maybe this becomes a 3-power creature, but this is a 4-power creature and a 4-power creature just right off the bat. Now, the Cerberus, there is some work to get it to untap, and it's not, the best for beginners. So just be aware of that. You could go with something else like the Fear of Being Hunted, or just another Cindermaw, or, any other of these, go with more Trufflesnouts if you want. If you don't want to play around with the tapping, untapping. But I just find it's not that really difficult. We have Burst Lightnings, we have Bushwhacks, we could attack in, Giant Growths. Our creatures can die, their creatures can die. It untaps on your turn, or it untaps on the opponent's turn. Just at the end step of if a creature died, then it untaps. Tyrant, it's a legendary creature, so we don't want to have multiple of them, but it is, instead of having 2 Cerberuses, we have 1 and 1. It's just a better option there. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh yeah, get some big boys in there. Get these little 2/2 hasters out of here. Let's put some big Hazard of the Dunes in there. 4/4 with trample and reach, and for 7 mana, nice little mana sink with all these mana dorks that we have, even though we got rid of one. That would become a 7/7. Just a nice top end of our curve. Nice way, make it a, 10/10 with Giant Growth. Be pretty sweet attacking in. Just nice little additions. Oh, and then the lands. Always the lands. So we want red, green, multicolored land. So it has these dumb guild gates in here. They come into the battlefield tapped. If I'm going to have something come into the battlefield tapped, at least give me the option later in the game to come in untapped. So we have these cheapo Leading Woods as options there. And although we have it in there, I do question you could probably even go down on these a little bit and just go with more basics. Because having so many tap lands, 9 tap lands is a lot for a deck that kind of wants to go fast. Obviously, if you had wild cards to spare, right? There's the Copperline Gorge is still in the running. That's obviously the best fast land type of situation, but we're keeping the deck as is, no rares, no mythics added in. So yeah, I think that's the deck. 23 lands, 25 creatures, 12 of those. Oh, let's do the land thing. So we have 26 green sources. So that's, you divide that in half. So that's 13 lands that you want. I don't know if that's just the way I go. I don't know if that's necessarily, there's like some document online that tells you like how many green sources should you have. But that's what I usually do. It's just a good estimate. So we got 9 and we needed 13. So that would be 4, right? So that'll get you 13 green sources. And then if you take this, it's 15, so that's 8. Put it up to 16, so we have 8. 4, 8. So we're 2 over if this is at 1. So we go 1, 2, put it up. And now we want to get up to 23 lands. So 4 and 4, or 4 and 3. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. So then we got our 23 lands. We're going slightly more on the green because we have more green cards. We kind of want to have more green. If we have that odd number, obviously if we went 24 lands, you would have 5 mountains and you have to cut a card. But I don't think we need it. We have such a low mana curve. We have 2.3 average mana curve. It's pretty low. Sure, we do have the Hazard of the Dunes. And what's the other card? The Scurryfoot is, for mana sinks, if you will, to do something with our mana. And we do, have some tricks that we want to hold up and stuff like that. But definitely 23 lands is a good way to go. So yeah, that's my updates to the Path of Power deck. Path of Power. So let's get into some games and see how we do. A little bit heavy on the lands, but take it. Got Ruby on 2. We could Spinner. Trufflesnout. See how much removal they have. Blue-white, spells. We're probably just going to get one attack in with it. I think it's worth it. They might not be able to kill the Trufflesnout after that, but, the partner is probably going to die. We do have protection spells in there. They got the Giant Growth Pump spells. They fired that Lightning Strike off on Ruby. Nah, I'm good. You go ahead. Do your worst. Monster's Rage. It's pretty good. Okay. Spinner Souls. Oh, we have 2 reach creatures. Could bump the spinner. Do we just dump our hand? Doesn't seem right. I think we just go for damage, right? Have to be able to do 4 damage. They could return it to my hand, I suppose. It's an option. Okay. So we got the clue token or the food token we could eat, or we could just if they're tapping stuff down. This can get rid of the Monstrous Rage. Next turn, just empty the hand. It's probably a bad move. They could, but I don't think they're gonna sweep the board. They could Brotherhood's End for 3. Okay. Yeah, they just couldn't deal with they didn't have a bounce spell. They didn't have a bounce spell for the Truffle. They just don't have any other creatures, just too many things. Yeah, Halana and Alena could pump the spinner, maybe that would have been a better move. It would have been take it out lightning strike range. And that could be a good blocker. Big Germ. No early plays, probably loss. Probably gonna lose to mono red. Unless we have to shut down life gain. Some pump spell would be really good. Pump the whole team. We're gonna start out with a mountain, show them that we're red. Maybe we should have started with green. They would think we're less threatening. Because I know when I see green, well, I don't think it's... it could be Hydra deck. I think we gotta let it go. Could be Overlord. That'd be a worst case scenario. Turn 3 Overlord. So black. Nothing? That's great news. That's fantastic. Probably just a bunch of removal spells in their hand. So, do I do nothing in Ambush Wolf? I think I'm gonna put this out. They could have Liliana. Maybe Ambush Wolf, saving Ambush Wolf was the play, but they probably have a removal spell being black, and that they didn't do anything. They probably handled just full removal. I know they're a food deck. Okay. I don't see them gaining life. We'll put out the Spinner Souls. Can't attack, no good attacks. Not yet. Just total food deck. We're gonna shut off that life gain, I think. What does this do? It gives everything trample. Do we double block Bristlebud? I don't think so. I'm gonna draw a card with that, or mill and draw. There it is. No blocks. We're in trouble. I'm not gonna deny it. They have the mana for it. Food taps for mana. We want red. Might as well kill this. Weaken Cindermaw. I'm just gonna full swing it. This doesn't have haste, right? So this is our time to eat the food if we want to eat the food. They're at 12. Let's put the pressure on them. If they attack us with the 5/5, they have a 6/6. We hit them for 8. We also have the Ambush Wolf. We need to block it on the way back. It's a 6/6 and it'll be a 7/7 or 8/8. I think you put 2 counters on it. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. They still have 3 cards in their hand. Lots of blockers. We're just gonna have to take that 5. And draw another card. We are in trouble. Really need like pump spell or something. I don't think that's gonna do it. What are we gonna do? I think we're in trouble. I mean, we get the Ambush Wolf out. We haven't got our card draw spell. We haven't hit any removal really. Haven't hit anything good. Just a bunch of mid-range stuff, 3 mana cards. I mean, that's how it plays on every single 3 mana card we have in our deck. We hit. They hit top end, and they hit their top end. Everything 4 and better. Is it not a legendary creature? Oh my god. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just like pretty amazing. This deck never does this, so like a god draw. Did we get flooded? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I didn't even notice. We do 12 cards. 7 of those cards are land. 5 cards are not land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I didn't even notice we got flooded. Yeah, take action. Now you come out. No blocks. Now you come? Where were you at like last turn or 2 turns ago? 69, yeah baby. That food deck never works that way. We got flooded, it happens. When you play Magic, you sometimes draw 50% of your lands. Oh, actually you have 7 of 12. I'm just gonna say, if you draw 7 lands and 5 cards and the opponent doesn't, they have an actual even draw, they're probably going to beat you by 69 life. Too many tap lands. That's the only problem with this deck. You could probably go basics. Probably cut some of them. How we go from flood to reverse flood. Ideally, we hit the... if we don't hit a land here, we're in trouble. Okay, we didn't hit a land, but it's okay. Maybe I could have waited? I don't know. They're playing white. You gotta worry about protection. Is this a free deck? I wonder if they're playing the other free deck. There's a black-white vampires. Interesting. Something. Okay. So I like Ambush Wolf here, I think. The fact they did nothing, I'm gonna go Ambush Wolf. So that way they cast a spell on their turn, we Ambush Wolf. Sure, we can't use it as a surprise trick, but then we can Hornbeetle on our turn and attack with the Wolf. If we draw land, we can hold up Snakeskin Veil or Giant Growth. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter. Sounds good. Submit 0, it's a May. You don't have to do it. I'm gonna get this out, get him pumped up. Let me attack in. They're not gonna block. That's great. 4 more hits. And we have the Giant Growth to block the Paladin if they start gaining life. We have the Snakeskin Veil up for protection. Next turn... I mean, depending if we draw a land. We're probably going to cast the Tyrant to keep up our tricks. If we draw a land... It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now this doesn't have Trample. That's the only thing. Neither of these have Trample for the Giant Growth. Didn't hit a land. It's fine. I don't know if we save it with the Wolf. I think... Oh, wow. They just took it? They should not have done that. Wow. I don't know if we really needed to save up the Giant Growth, but it's a 4-power creature. We have lethal on board. Presenting lethal. Right? They have to put out a creature. You can gain 1 life. Seems pretty good. I guess I lose my blocker, but what are you gonna do? That's your only spell for the turn? That is an expensive spell. Dang it. Well. The Hornbeetle becomes a 5/5. The Ambush Wolf dies and gets us to draw a card. They have to block or they just die. Just keep the pressure up. It's a good sacrifice and we get to actually use the Spinner of Souls. Alright, got a Ruby, got the Cerberus, got Ambush Wolf, got a Bushwhack. Bushwhack isn't the greatest with these 2 toughness creatures, but it is what we have. I do like starting off with Ruby, since we have mostly green. I don't think we need another land. We could put out the Cerberus and this tap land to get it out of the way. Or we can Bushwhack. My 1/2 toughness. You don't want to have that creature. Now it is one... Well, I mean, I don't want them to have that creature, right? It is worth noting that we want to kill creatures when our Cerberus is tapped. The Cindermaw, I'd like to save that if they have like Shelter by Ghost or some other life gain shenanigans. Scry, Surveil. Get rid of this temple. I am going to attack in. Now we can save the Ambush Wolf. They're gonna Shelter by Ghosts, right? They'll Shelter by Ghost me, then I can Ambush Wolf them. Or if they're playing Kaido or something else, they could have another Nightmare, they could have Pixies, could be Pixie Bounce. And then when we kill their creature, the Cerberus will untap. Will it though? If they take it? The question is, do they have a removal spell? Do they have a removal spell is the question. I hope they cast another spell. Hopeless Nightmare or something. Excellent. So now they have 4 toughness, but no one expects the Ambush Wolf. Ambush Wolf! Get wrecked. We'll eat this. We'll block this. You can gain 5 life, but you're only at 14. We'll hold that land. Let's put this out. I'll attack them in. They're gonna make us discard. We can put this land out untapped. Untapped. And I think all we need is 4 mana, right? No more life gain. They could have more pixies and more bounces. This becomes a 3 toughness creature. No, 4 toughness. 3/4. So now we'll be more cautious about our attacks. I wonder if they save that. Nope. They're trying to race? I don't know. Racing doesn't seem like a good option. 7? 8, 9, 10. They're at 1. Almost got them. Okay. So they need a second creature? Or to kill the Cindermaw. Or bounce the Cindermaw. I think we're good. We got under Pixie Bounce. I mean, no pixies to be seen. No otters. They did have Shelter by Ghost, but we blew them out with that trick. The Ambush Wolf. 4 power. It's too much. They've had no removal spell. I mean, they have to kill the Cindermaw or they'd lose. They could have -3/-3. But then Ruby kills them. So they only have 1 spell. If they don't have a removal spell. I think they're roping. Yeah, I think we got it tuned up pretty good. Kaido can tap down my creature. Stun a person. It's pretty good. I mean, he has to stun the Cindermaw. You have to stun the Cindermaw. Why did you stun the Cindermaw? It has trample. Anyway. So what he should have done, or she, Nepal should have done. They cast Kaido for 4 mana, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So they cast the Hopeless Nightmare on my empty hand, which I don't think they needed to do, if that's what they did. So what they should have did is they should have attacked with the Fear of Isolation, hit me for 2 damage. Or actually, they would have attacked with Kaido, and then they would have attacked me for 4 damage, or whatever Kaido becomes. 3/4 ninja. So he would have hit me for 3 damage with Kaido out. Then he could have recasted the Fear of Isolation, maybe picking up Kaido or something. I don't know. But he could have used Kaido's, to tap down this guy, and then he would have had a blocker for this guy. Sure, he would have lost, and we would have had a 3/3, and this guy would have had 2 stun counters. But maybe he would have been able to pick up Kaido, and then have it again for another tap. So he could have stalled out the game. Yeah, so those are my updates to the Path of Power deck. I think it's pretty good. It does take some thought to play, right? Mainly, I mean, you could get rid of this, but I think this is an interesting card as people aren't ready for it. And there was one game in testing that I had where I attacked with everybody. They blocked with like a fish or something, and then this untapped. So I had a blocker. Because they blocked with a fish. They chump blocked. Ambush Wolf's pretty good. I like the thing with it, this doesn't have trample. That's why we're going with Snuffletrufflesnouts. Yeah, you need some trample creatures in there. It's just pretty good. Spinner Swirls, pretty good. Didn't get to see Garruk's Uprising in this deck. I did try out having 2 of them in there, and then you started drawing too many of them, and you don't really have that many good payoffs, right? even with my updates, like what we removed two from the deck, 2 giants, and we added in 2, 3. We added in one more extra, 4, 2. Yeah, so we added in 2 extra ones. So even with that, it's still not enough. Oh yeah, and the ambush wolves too. So we added in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra. Minus 2, I guess. That was the original. So we added 4 extra ones. So even with the 4 extra, it's not enough. Type of thing. Oh, and we added this too. 5 extra. 6 extra creatures. It's still not enough to have 2 Garruk Uprisings. Though it does give everything trample, is worth noting. I just didn't seem to be good. Yeah, I think we got enough removal. And just, use your Bushwhacks accordingly. Know that you have only 1 giant growth and 2 snakeskin veils. So sometimes you gotta let creatures die that don't matter and save it for more important creatures and more important times. We didn't get to see the gunner pop off, but when you start to get it would have been nice in that flood game. But what are you gonna do? Went 3-1. Probably could keep going. I think it's pretty tuned up, really good. And really good for a free deck, right? Like, we've only added in commons and uncommons into the deck. We kept all the rares, and yeah, that's it. This has been Told. Like and subscribe. See you guys next time.